strong.
We will fight.
Up rivers we long to force our course.
Through the cold waters, bitter and difficult purity.
We wait.
To swirl and insinuate.
To create up the roar of the cataract's fullness.
Our raiments of dripping light.
I hear you, Salmon. I know you're there. Somewhere in the depths. Dance in my heart. Mum, I wish you weren't so far away.
I know, sweetheart. But your father's looking after you, isn't he?
Dad does his best, but I miss you being here.
This research is important.
You don't have to go halfway across the Atlantic to find the salmon.
How do you mean?
They're here. Hey, Hilda.
Hey. I've been looking for you everywhere.
I asked your dad.
He had no clue where you were. Is he always that laid back?
He's in his river world most of the time.
Like father, like daughter?
What do you mean?
All the time you've been spending by the river?
I've always come here.
What, for afternoons, evenings, weekends?
No more than usual.
Amy, what is going on with you? Shouldn't you be revising?
Shouldn't you be?
Well, I would be if I wasn't so worried about you. And how about your dance piece? When are you going to practice that?
I never asked you to worry about me. You're not my mother.
That's not fair. I'm your friend.
All right. I'm sorry. As for my dance piece, I am rehearsing that.
So that's what you're doing here.
Just in my dreams.
Be serious.
All right. If you really want to know, I'm watching for the salmon.
For the salmon? I mean, I know your parents are interested in it.
They know nothing about salmon.
Amy, you can't say that.
It's true. It's just science to them. Figures, graphs, statistics.
What, so you're trying to disprove their theories?
No, you don't understand.
Well, why are you here then?
Why am I here? Why are you here? Why are we here? Is it all just some massive cosmic joke?
Amy.
Right. I'll tell you. I need to see a salmon in real life again. Not just in my dreams.
In your dreams?
Yes. I dream about the salmon all the time.
Isn't that nice?
Yes. But then I wake up and there are no salmon.
Oh.
I know this is ridiculous, but do you remember last October when I was very low?
Yeah, your mum was so worried about you.
Yeah, whatever.
Amy, she was.
Well, anyway, I came out here one evening and I sat and cried and I watched the eddies in the current. And I thought how enticing the river's darkness looked.
Amy.
It's all right because just then I saw this streak of silver leap from the darkness of the surface, dripping with light, so beautiful, so powerful, like a bright burst of pure hope. Don't say anything, Hilda. I couldn't bear it if you were to say anything. But now there are no salmon, and maybe it's all my fault.
Your fault? How come?
Because I dream about them instead. I've swapped reality for a dream world. Please don't judge me.
Amy, I won't, you know I won't. But you can't take responsibility. It's the adults who are responsible. And I'm your friend. You know I'm not going to judge you. Come on, come to mine. My parents are always happy to see you.
us need to know a little bit more about us, the salmon of the River Teign?
We start our lives in the gravel redds of Dartmoor, in the shallowest of streams that feed the River Teign, both north and south branches.
We leave our egg as an 11. Then we must rise to the surface to gulp air and fill our swim bladder to attain neutral buoyancy. Once done, we become fry and find swimming easier.
As fry, we have 8 fins and feed on microscopic invertebrates until we become par.
As par, we have vertical stripes and spots as camouflage, and continue to grow for as long as 3 years, feeding on aquatic insects and maintaining a territory.
Then we begin to smolt, to turn to smolts and acquire a silvery look, ready for the voyage into salt water and the ocean beyond.
Some of us only spend a year at sea, feeding on sand eels and krill and sometimes whiting, herring or mackerel, before we return to the mouth of the river we left. Such are called grilse.
Others voyage further to the seas off Greenland, where they stay for as long as 3 years, fattening on the plenty provided by the oxygen-rich coldness of the waters.
These two will return to the river of their birth. Upstream they will journey further and further, leaping the cataracts and trying to negotiate the weirs and the dams until, if they can, they find the same gravel red where they emerged from the egg and finally spawn there themselves.
Down the rivers they drift.
Some dead from exhaustion.
Others able to survive as thin, haggard Celts.
No, I reckon the salmon will be running in a few... Oh, I can't talk now, Jez. I'll have to tell you when we meet.
Hello, Dad.
Oriel, I didn't see you there.
The hydro's gone down, Joe.
Not again. It must be sabotage.
That's what you said last time.
Well, someone had moved the screen out of position.
Or someone had failed to put it back properly.
This is the last thing I need when I get home from work.
It's the last thing I need when I'm trying to work from home. And it's the last thing Hilda needs when she's trying to revise for her exams. And it's the last thing Oriel and Sam need when they are trying to do their homework.
Oh.
As you can see, by the lights over your head, I've managed to switch us back onto the mains.
But we really can't afford that.
Well, we'll have to. I can't have the children doing their homework in the dark. Anyway, why are you so late? Where have you been? Oriel and Sam were asking for you at bedtime.
Oh, I was just having a drink with an old friend who called me up.
Oh, who was that?
Do you remember Jez?
Oh, Joe, you know I've never liked him.
Well, he's an old family friend. What do you want me to do? Pretend I don't know him any longer?
Well, yes, you actually can. You can say no to a drink. No is a very useful word, Joe.
I'll go and see if I can fix the hydro.
Oh.
These sticks look perfect. Please could you take this one, Sam? Oh, and Oriel, we doing this?
Well, I thought we could play beavers. Surprise!
Beavers? Oh, that sounds fun. Not. How old do you think we are? 5?
I just thought it would be a nice change.
That sounds nice, Mel. It sounds childish.
You're telling me.
We should play stuff in the mud instead.
But we play that every day at school.
Stuck in the mud beats otters, that's for sure.
It's called beavers, and I suppose I'll play by myself then.
I'll play, and I know Georgie will. Can't Georgie speak for herself? She's just very shy.
Hello, Guy.
Hello. What are you children up to?
They're building a dam to play beavers.
Oh.
Bet you £3 he's going to lecture us about the environment.
Deal.
Building dams makes it harder for the salmon to spawn in the gravel reds. And sea trout too. And it even affects brown trout.
You owe me £3.
Shut up. Hold on. Are you telling us we shouldn't play otters, Guy?
Perhaps you could play a different game.
No! Guy is saying that your game is stupid and that you shouldn't play it.
It isn't stupid. Don't say that.
I never said it was.
You upset Mel. Don't worry, Mel. I think otters is a brilliant game.
But you said beavers was childish.
Hush now, poor Mel. Don't cry.
I'm not even crying.
I'm going to tell my dad that you made Mel cry.
Please, just let Guy speak.
You can play your game, just don't build a dam. It hurts the salmon.
And the brown trout and the sea trout.
Adults build dams and weirs all the time.
Mills are getting turned into hydroelectric plants.
It's a bit weird that you know that.
Not really. My house is powered by hydroelectricity.
Anyway, here's the deal. You leave us alone to play otters, beavers, and then we'll take down the dam.
All right. Thank you. Elsie, I didn't see you there.
Hello, Guy.
Have you let your dog off that lead?
Yes? Anything wrong with that? There's no sheep along this path.
Only that your dog might go in a pool and shed pesticides from his coat.
Pesticide?
You use tick drops on him, don't you?
Sometimes yes. Who doesn't?
Well then, when he goes in the water, he'll be shedding substances like fipronil, which are incredibly poisonous to aquatic invertebrates. You should put your dog on a lead near water.
Dog hater! Job's worth. What will he stop us all doing next?
You can thank me for getting rid of him.
I do, my dear. Anselm! Anselm! Anselm, where have you got to, boy? Anselm! Anselm!
I vote we drown that man in the river.
Sam, you can't joke about that. Guy is nice. He might be a bit boring, but he's a good person.
He's an old friend of our dad. I can't understand why. I might drown myself the next time we get lectured by him. I'm tempted to build a stupid dam just to spite him.
Really? You'll help with the dam?
If you stop bossing us around, then yes.
Even though Guy said it was stupid. He never even said that.
Sure, why not?
We could really do with some help. It's leaking badly. Isn't it, Georgie?
What did the salmon say when he ran into a wall?
I don't know.
Dam. Get it? Because Guy was talking about the salmon when we were building her? Oh, never mind. That joke was not your finest moment, Sam.
I thought it was funny. And so did Georgie.
How do you know she did?
Are you sure we should be doing this?
Of course. We don't want to upset Mel, right?
Okay, fine. I'll help with the dam. Just don't let Guy know.
Guy's never gonna find out. I promise.
Yeah, sure.
Never told me about yesterday. Was it nice to see everyone?
I had a really nice time. It was good to catch up with Polly and Joe.
Even without Mum there?
I did have to tell off some of the kids though, earlier in the day for trying to build a dam. Always an odd one that, isn't it, telling off other people's children's. I just had to politely explain to them about how the salmon wouldn't be able to get through.
Come on, do you really think a little kid's dam is that bad?
But you know the salmon are already endangered.
Yes, and you know how much the salmon mean to me. And I know that's why Mum isn't around at the moment. She's over the other side of the Atlantic, trying to find out why the population's crashed. So yes, I do know actually, Dad.
Oh, sorry.
I went to the tin the other day with Hilda. We didn't see a single salmon, even though it was the perfect day for it. You're not going to tell me that's all down to some little kids making a dam every now and again. There are far bigger problems, like sewage pollution and nitrates and pesticide runoff from farmland. They'll campaign about them if you really want to make a difference. I'm always sending you petitions. It's always, oh sorry, I didn't get around to signing that one.
Yes, I know, but building dams really isn't great. I felt I had to say something.
Aren't they building a new hydropower plant on the tin soon? That'll have a dam. What about that? That's much worse.
There are several small ones already, and yes, I know, but there are several small ones already.
Well,
and it's green energy.
Well, it's not very green if it wipes out the remaining salmon population's route to reproduction.
But they have ways of doing it now without building a dam right across and with a proper chute for the fish.
Yes, but are they going to do that? Probably not. They never do the right thing, even if it's just a little bit more expensive.
I don't know how expensive it's going to be. Why are we arguing about this?
Just get really angry about it all. Don't mean to take it out on you.
You're always doing that at the moment, Amy. Are you, how are things going at the moment?
Yeah, all right. I've got mocks next week. I've been trying to revise, but it's just difficult, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well you know I didn't do so great in my exams.
That doesn't exactly fill me with hope, Father.
Try not to worry about it, you'll be fine.
Will I?
Yes, you will. I did well enough at the Environment Agency, and you're way smarter than I am. Oh, I wanted to get to the shops before they close. Do you want anything?
No. Oh, don't forget to buy oat milk though, like you usually do. Remember, I don't drink cow.
Sure. See you in a bit.
Of dreams for you, Amy.
Would you like to come and join us? Just like Tamara.
Who's Tamara?
She was a nymph.
She argued with her father and was changed into a river.
Is that her?
I once breathed air, but now I breathe water. I lived underground with the earth gnomes, made to do chores at all hours of the day and half the night, until I escaped into the upper air. I made friends with two giants, Tavy and Torridge, who both declared their love for me. But my father disapproved, and in his rage he turned me into a river. I now flow down off the moor and live with the salmon as water.
I mean, you don't look much like a stream, more of a teenager like me.
Oh, but I am a stream. Listen to this. I swirl through fissures and twist down cataracts. I plunge over waterfalls as white as the mist. I lie in pools as dark as eye pupils. I
ripple and bubble with the dive of an otter. I roar at the flood's yellowish churning and rise high enough for the salmon to run.
Well, okay, you've made your point, but how did your father square it with your mother, tying you into a stream?
He tried to tell her that I'd run away from home for the bright lights of Plymouth.
And she believed him?
Not for long. She realised a teenage girl would never have left home without packing some clothes.
So what did she do?
Well, she threw pots and pans at him for a whole month until her arms ached. But there was no remedy. The spell was irreversible.
The poor giants who loved you, what happened to them? They sat on a rock somewhere weeping.
Not exactly. They were both so upset when I disappeared into the bright sparkle of a stream that they took their woes to their father, one of the Taws. And he also happened to be a wizard like my own father. Looking out across the high moor beneath him in deep tones, as of the wind sounding around the great blocks of granite of which he was composed, he agreed to turn them into streams so that they could join me. Tavy was facing south and his stream now joins mine. But poor Torridge was facing north to avoid the rain on a southwest wind when his father cast the spell. And as a result, his stream flows in the opposite direction for all time, and he never gets to meet up with me.
Poor Torridge. This is all a result of an argument with your father.
Yes.
Dad, I didn't mean to argue. Been dreaming again.
Hilda?
Yeah?
Hilda, I can't sleep.
Alright, sit here then. Tell me what's on your mind.
What do you think about dams?
What do you mean?
Well, Dad's friend, Guy, from the Environment Agency, came past where Mel, Georgie, Sam and Tess were building a dam today. And basically he told us we shouldn't build dams because of the salmon.
Because of the salmon?
And the brown trout and the sea trout. Because it stops them getting to shallow ravels to spawn.
Well, I mean, you should probably do what he says. He knows loads about salmon, and they're such beautiful creatures, and they're so important for our rivers.
But the tiny dams, which only last a week, really have any effect on fish spawning?
Might be a crucial week for the salmon, or the sea trout, or the brown trout.
What about Mum and Dad? What about the dam Mum and Dad put across the river for their hydroelectricity? That lasts the whole year.
Yeah, but that's green energy, so helps the environment in that way.
How does that help the salmon?
Green energy must help them somehow.
Green energy that keeps going wrong and puts Mum in a bad mood.
At least they're making the effort.
Do you know someone called Jez?
No, why?
I heard Dad talking to him on his mobile.
Well, Dad talks to loads of people. He has to because of business.
It's just, he went all secretive when I came into the room, as if he didn't want me to know. I think he was talking about salmon. You don't think he's been prosecuted, do you? For blocking the river?
Right, okay. I think there's a perfectly innocent explanation. Now you need to go to bed. Come on.
Good night.
Night.
to imagine a dark night. After the Achimals have sung through the dimmets and quietened down to the odd alarm call.
The clouds cover the stars. There is no moon.
It is pitch black as the deepest pool in the shadiest stretch of the River Teign.
Hawthorn blossom spreads its pervasive scent through the darkness.
In the tall bushes of broom, beside the long pool where the salmon lie resting, something is stirring.
Now, remember what I told you? The best way to get them is to creep up from behind, quiet as you can, then jump out from the bushes, waving our big torches in their faces, screaming and shouting as you do it. Scares the buggers to death. The big ones usually crumble like a badly baked biscuit. It's the small ones that slip through our fingers.
All right, it still seems a bit primitive to me. What if they have guns? I really don't fancy being shot.
Take it from me, the kind of poachers we're going to get on the River Teign won't have guns.
If you say so, but this was not in the job description when I signed up for work experience with the Environment Agency.
Not my department. All I know is I'm your line manager now. Right, let's go and hide behind those bushes.
Meanwhile, on the same bank nearby, 2 men with torches are carrying poles with snares attached and gaffs to hook us.
So that we end up in their car boots.
Ready to be driven to London?
Or the local hotel.
Or the kitchen of a farmer.
Right, lad. Shine your light in this pool. See what we got here. Joe assured me that the river wouldn't be high enough yet, but looks okay to me.
Isn't Joe supposed to be down here with us?
Oh, he had some parents-teachers evening, apparently.
Parents evening? Gah, sounds domesticated. Can you see any, Jez? Jez, can you see any?
Will you keep your voice down? Turn that torch off. You said you saw a light in the bushes earlier. It could be the EA.
The what?
The Environment Agency.
Oh yeah. Do you remember when you had to run 8 miles to escape them by hiding out in fox-torn mires?
Don't remind me, Tommy.
What do the EA want with the likes of us? Haven't they got bigger fish to fry? Like Southwest Water for allowing sewage into the river every time it rains?
You can't arrest Southwest Water. And they like their little arrests, the Environment Agency do. It makes them feel, well, kind of powerful. They moan about the lack of salmon, but they do nothing about the industrial operators out at sea who do it commercially or do anything about the pollution inland.
What's that over there?
Do you know, poaching is a traditional countryside activity. In my opinion, I reckon we should get a grant for the National Lottery Heritage Fund. Look, over there.
That's what I was saying.
Is that what you saw?
Yeah, there's something over there.
By those rocks. There's 3 henfish. I swear by it. Right, get
out.
ready. Get that snare going. Slowly, take your time. Take your time. Oh, it's all about timing. Oh, nearly. Watch this one.
we go after them?
No, leave it. It's not worth the effort. I ran miles after one of them last time over the moor and lost him in Belliver Forest. They won't be back once they've seen us.
What should we do now?
We could watch for otters.
Why would I want to do that?
When I watch the salmon and then I see an otter chasing them, I start to feel part of the river.
Part of the river? Well, since you've got the car, I suppose I'm at your mercy.
All right then. Let's get you home, misery guts. Come on.
You can see where Amy gets it from.
You mean her obsession with us?
Yep. Guy is as hooked on us, to use a very bad pun, as his daughter is.
Well, to change the subject, that was a narrow escape.
It was.
Let's hope it rains. Then we can move upriver.
Let's hope so. Who really wants to be chased by an otter?
Out of the grey Atlantic's unboundaried space, we pierce the eye of the river's needle with the glittering thread of our leap.
Through currents treacherously strong, storms impatiently fierce, through race of ebb and flood, the cycle of spring and neap.
Out of the roar of the breakers, out of the dark of the deep, we make for home for the single, shallow stream of birth. The one place we long for, our only rest on earth.
Away from the jaws of the porpoise, the endlessly rollicking half-moon blade of the deep.
Away from the bark of the seal, the whiskery watchdog of shorelines.
Away from the estuary fishermen's nets with their shadows of ripple like ribs on the innocent sand of a bay.
Away from the thickness of salt, the sea louse's suction, the blood-sweet murk of the cannibal ocean.
We glitter in the cold water's bitter and difficult purity.
We, the salmon, the leapers,
who drip water's raiment,
the weavers of dreams.
So, what do you think?
I think it's wonderful. You've really captured the essence of the salmon.
Hope Amy likes it. She really hasn't been herself recently. And I feel like I should know what to do to help her.
You are helping her, darling. We've just spent 2 hours papier-mâchéing a salmon.
Yeah, I know. It's like... Remember when I was younger and I'd fall over and you'd give me a hug and I'd feel better? It's like I don't know what Amy's hug is. You always know what to do when I'm upset.
Well, sometimes it is hard to know how to support someone, but the best thing you can do is listen. Listening goes a long way in this world, Hilda.
Yeah, well, I try to listen, but she never wants to talk about it. How am I supposed to listen to her if she doesn't talk about it?
Well,
it's like she's drifting away and no one else seems to have noticed.
It's not your responsibility to help.
Yes, it is my responsibility because no one else cares. This isn't normal. This isn't salmon fishing in the Yemen. It's something else.
Hilda, listen to me. I understand that you're worried about Amy. It's a very difficult thing to watch a friend go through. But you need to be careful. You need to protect yourself.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Look, Amy isn't the only one suffering here, Hilda. You haven't been yourself recently either with all this research into salmon and making salmon and talking about salmon.
Yeah, well maybe if you did some of your own research, you'd understand how you're complicit in all of this.
How I'm complicit?
Yes, how you're complicit because of our hydroelectric weir. That weir stops hundreds of salmon migrating upstream to breed every year. Do you know what effect that has on the rivers?
I'm sorry, should I rip it out and instead put good old fossil fuels to heat the house? Because I'm sure you'd have a problem with that as well.
No, my problem is you saying I should be taking responsibility when that is what we should all be doing. For our friends, for the rivers, including the bloody salmon.
Here, lovely. It's all right. It's all right.
Look, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't apologise. You're absolutely right in what you said. You know, we all need to take responsibility for each other and our actions. I'm very proud of you.
It's just Amy has always been there for me. And I feel horrible because I can't do the same.
You are one of the kindest and most dedicated friends I know. And Amy knows that too. I'm sorry I said what I said. Amy will be fine. It will all be fine.
There'll be salmon on the menu Saturday night, landlord.
You know, I don't think there's ever been a better poacher than you, Jez.
You'd be wrong there, Tommy lad.
How come?
Respect to the ancestors.
The ancestors?
Master poacher on Dartmoor for salmon was Algie Mae back in this century.
Algie Mae?
Algie Mae. He who, when accosted by the Lord of Spitchwich Manor with a £20 salmon he had poached, brazenly held it behind his back whilst engaging with the aforesaid lord for nigh on 20 minutes. Unbelievable. On another occasion, when faced again with the lord of Spitchwich Manor with a stolen salmon, he had the audacity to claim that he had just wrested it from a poacher that he'd caught red-handed.
Wow. So was there a lot of poaching at that time?
Oh, Algie could tell you some stories about the old days.
What happened in the old days? Were there young lads like me around?
Well, yes, there were. They called them the boys, but they were the local gangs.
Who were the boys then?
Well, they
Tell
were
me some stories.
The local poachers, of course. Well, I can bring a couple to mind. On one occasion, right, they dazzled the salmon with their torches and drove them into a leat of a hydroelectric power plant, okay? And then they closed the gates either side of the leat and hoiked the fish out. However, this cut off the electricity to the farm up at the hill. The farmer, obviously, once his lights had gone out, was incredibly irritated. He came running down the hill, but by the time he'd got to the bottom, everything had been returned to normal. Off he went, twaddled back up to his farm. But the boys repeated the process all over again and got a bumper haul.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, another occasion, right? The boys put their nets across the River Dart just below Newbridge, downstream. And the bailiffs came out in force that night, confident they were going to catch them. Meanwhile, the boys were upstream having one of the best catches of salmon ever, safe in the knowledge that all the bailiffs were busy down the other end, and so they were confident they wouldn't bump into a bailiff.
Cool, genius.
Yeah.
So the boys, do you think you could get your mate Joe and us to sort of like form some sort of gang and go down to the river poaching together?
You'd be interested, would you?
Yeah.
And you can keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You ain't going to blab to anyone?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, that's the least we can expect of you. Right, I've had enough, I'm off. Oh, it don't get any better, does it? You coming?
Yeah.
Sounds stupid, but sometimes I feel like you can hear me. And you are listening. Not just when I'm dreaming. I wish you would just come back. It's stupid, I know you can't just come back because that's not how it works, but I want to see you again. Last night, I dreamt that I was sat right here and I waited and waited and waited for you to come back. And then, just as I turned away, you leapt. I missed it. I can't let myself miss it. This is ridiculous. You can't hear me. I'm just talking to myself. That's Duke Silver. Is that a salmon? No. It's the rising crescent moon reflected in the surface. It leaps, look, up there in the heavens. Not the salmon.
Amy?
Hilda, what? How long have you been there?
Not long. I just...
Why didn't you say you were there?
I didn't want to scare you.
I don't like being spied on.
Look,
Creeps
Amy.
me out.
Look, Amy, I'm sorry. I can leave.
No. Please go. Stay.
So, what are you doing?
I wish they would just come back. Salmon.
I know.
Is there even any point? I'm always just sitting and waiting. And I know I can't miss it if it does happen.
Well, how about the next time you come down here and you're looking for the salmon, you tell me. I'll come with you.
Really?
Of course.
I'm really glad I have a friend like you. You know that, right?
Do you remember that meltdown I had in physics last year?
Of course I do.
Yeah, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks until exams, and that formula just tipped me over the edge.
And I sat outside the classroom with you.
Yeah, that was so embarrassing. And this is just like that, but with fish. Look, I never got how you were so good at those subjects, and also the creative ones. Like, pick one.
No. Do you ever wish you could just bottle a moment and keep it forever? I will bottle right now. Just you and me by the river. Come on.
It's all very well, Amy wishing to see a real salmon leap, and Hilda helping her. But one of the reasons there are so few of us left are the hydroelectric weirs such as Hilda's family operates.
And while it may be the case that there are problems with the salmon feeding grounds off the coast of Greenland, Amy's mother could find a rise in sea temperatures, perhaps, or a case of industrial overfishing. There are also problems here at home that might be easier to solve.
Sewage overflow. Every time there's a lot of rain, 42,000 times in the southwest last year.
Nitrates run off from farmers' fields and industrial effluents.
Private water supplies and septic tanks sited too close to water.
Macroplastics, microplastics.
Dog walkers, whose dogs have had pesticides put on their coats for fleas and ticks.
They let their dogs into the water, and the pesticides wash off, killing aquatic invertebrates. Our favourite snack on the way downriver to the sea. Not to mention the widening and crumbling of the banks, which their pores pulverise. Our watery home becoming more and more shallow.
We're here for you, our audience, but not for Amy yet. Bear with us a little. In some parts of the world, water is the most valuable thing there is because of drought and shortages. Without good water quality, there will be no salmon, just as there currently are none for Amy. And eventually, no humans.
Water, beautiful, best, the purest thing on earth.
No diamond, ever mined, has glittered with half a fraction of water's worth.
Water, plentiful, blessed, by the holy rites of springs, no chant ever intoned vies with the sacred music that water sings.
Why is the Wi-Fi so slow here? Come on. You won't load for me? Load for Amy. We like Amy. We want to help Amy. Amy, who dreams of salmon and Tamara being turned into a stream by her father. Oh, here we go. Okay. So it looks like the salmon travel upstream during autumn and spring to the breeding grounds on the moor. That's when they're most likely to leap, as they struggle against the current. Must be hard for them. No wonder it's such a sight to see. Oh, here's a video. It's in Scotland. Suppose it can't be too different. Can't make them out. Must be blending in with the riverbed. Oh, there one goes. Wow. Now I understand why Amy wants to see one so much. Wish I could make her salmon appear for her.
Hilda help Amy in her arguments with her father?
By making the salmon leap from the water.
Did you hear that? Hilda, Hilda, Hilda. Do you understand that? Hilda, Hilda. Hilda. Into sun-bright pools I flow, I who lived for years below, never more imprisoned there, yet not free in the upper air. Father, oh, I hadn't meant this outcome from our argument.
That was a
Weird dream. Wonder what it meant.
Apparently, Guy and Harriet nearly caught the salmon poachers a few nights ago. How did they escape? They managed to run up the hill and hide in the trees.
What would have happened if they'd actually been caught?
They would have been put in prison, of course.
So, what are you making us do today, Mel? See if the dam's still there?
I'm worried.
What? Guy might find out if we go on building dams. How's he going to know?
No, I'm worried about our dad.
Dad? Why?
Oh, who's this coming? Oh, it's Elsie.
Did I hear someone talking about building dams again?
Yes.
Do you know what happened when they built a dam at Fernworthy?
No.
When they quarried the blocks of stone for the face of the dam, they disturbed the earth gnomes who lived deep under the moor.
Really? What happened when the earth gnomes were disturbed?
On August the 4th, 1938, they unleashed a violent storm which washed one of the construction cranes into the river, leaving water and silt all over the site.
How terrible!
And in the early years of the war, the earth gnomes froze the pumps.
Are you sure it was them? These are old wives' tales.
You watch your tongue, young un. And the worst of it is, they're still continuing to seek their revenge. Watching and waiting for the moment that anyone builds a dam anywhere on the moor.
Is that really true? No, she's making it up. Let's use some logic here. Why would they want to take revenge on some children building a tiny dam with small stones? We haven't quarried any of their precious granite.
The gnomes love the salmon because their daughter Tamar was turned into a river. Just you be careful, young uns. Just you be careful, lest the same thing should happen to you. Anselm! 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 Where have you got to, boy? Anselm! Anselm!
I'm not sure we should go on with the dam today.
Maybe we should all go back. It's getting late.
I agree, she scares me.
Georgie was very scared of her.
How do you know she was? Were you scared, Georgie?
She's just shy.
Georgie says she doesn't think we should go on building dams. She says she hears the earth gnomes grumbling about us sometimes. Really?
Take no notice, Mel.
Elsie hasn't taken any notice of Guy.
I wonder if he'll arrest her and put her in prison if she ignores him.
Maybe.
Guy isn't a police officer. He only works for the Environment Agency. He can't actually arrest people, can he?
do you mean?
I don't feel in control of things.
That's natural. I can't remember the last time I felt properly in control.
Are you finding out anything interesting about the salmon?
Yes. There seem to be fewer of them off the coast of Greenland than there were 5 years ago, the last time these breeding grounds were surveyed.
Do they know why?
It could be the rise in temperatures across the Arctic. It could be industrial overfishing.
What do you do all day, out on the ship?
Think of you.
Don't be so soft, Mum. I'm interested. Tell me. Do you watch out for giant icebergs with your binoculars, like you're on the Titanic?
There's a strict rota for the various on-board tasks, not just collating the research data and analysing it.
Analysing? Do you have to keep on analysing everything?
Well, yes. If we're to help the salmon.
Well, maybe if you actually listened to them, heard what they were saying.
I love your imagination, sweetheart, but that's just wishful thinking.
No, I promise you I can hear them speaking to me.
Amy, is that your imagination again, or are you actually hearing them? As a scientist, I know that humans can't hear salmon talking. If you really think you're hearing, well, voices, then there's something seriously wrong, sweetheart.
Well, I'm a human, and I do hear the salmon talking and understand what they're saying.
Yes, but you say you never see these salmon. Oh, this conversation isn't getting us anywhere.
Only because you're so stubborn. You always have to win, don't you? Mum, I miss you so much.
Sweetheart. Sweetheart. I wish I could take you in my arms and hug you, but I can't. I can't. I'm thousands of miles away. Maybe I should just give up my work and come home to you. No. It sounds as if that's what you need.
No, Mum, you mustn't do that. I feel guilty for the rest of my life. I'm all right, Mum, really, I am. You're my hero. You know that.
I'm touched.
You have remembered my dance performance, haven't you?
Yes, I'm doing my absolute best to get back for that, Amy. It depends a bit on the weather and the connecting trains, but with any luck, I will be there.
With any luck? You promised me.
I know I did, Amy, but cut me some slack here. I'm on a ship at the mercy of the stormiest ocean in the planet. Amy? Amy? Are you there, Amy? Amy? Oh!
Oh, hello, Oriel.
Dad,
Yeah.
who's Jez?
Jez? Oh, he's just an old friend of mine.
Dad, I'm so worried.
Sweetheart, there's nothing to be worried about.
I just keep thinking something terrible is going to happen.
Oh, where's this idea come from, Poppet?
I heard you talking to Jez on the phone about Salmon. I don't want you to go to prison. I know you've been working so hard to be green, save the planet with the hydro, and I know that means that sometimes you don't have much money, holidays and things. I don't mind that, Dad. I just don't want you to leave us.
I promise you, I'm not going to go to prison. What's put that idea into your head? Oh, come on, let's go and find your mum.
It is dusk. The trees on either bank enclose the river in blackness.
Bats flicker, criss-crossing the water's corridors, catching insects.
The orange sun has set behind the hills of northern Dartmoor.
Shillet and jet and channer pour their sounds suddenly more loudly.
A dim reed rides ahead of a mother otter as she leads her cubs across the calmness of the Weirfield.
The white owl quarters the tall grassland, and a heron flies up to its rock and away to his roost for the night.
Right. So the video said upstream, which is, yeah, this is upstream. Looks about right.
Hey, Salmon. I'm ready and waiting. I just need one of you to show me that it's possible. You can leap out of the darkness. That's all I want, to leap out and away from the feeling. Every day I've held on, hoping to see one of you leap. All it takes is just one of you to make a dash for it, to take a chance, to leap. Oh my God! Hilda? I can see you.
Yeah, I know. Look, you can't be angry.
How could I not be angry?
I was just trying.
Just trying to what? Make me look like even more of an idiot? This is so humiliating. I'm not a child. Do you to make some stupid puppet to make me feel better?
No, Amy, I was trying to do something. Because it's like I'm losing my best friend, and every day you swim further away. It's like if I don't do anything now, I'm not going to get you back. And I know the salmon was stupid, I know that. But your face, Amy, your face when it leapt, it was like the old you back. That's all.
Okay. I understand. No one's ever made me a salmon puppet before.
Is it really that bad? I did so much research.
It's perfect. Thank you.
I've never orchestrated a salmon leap before.
I can't believe you did it, but I love you for it. Come on. I think we've had enough salmon for one day.
I reckon we're going to get a few tonight.
You reckon?
There's something in the air.
Well, let's just hope we manage to scare the crap out of them and then we can go home.
Are you all right? It's not like you want to go home. You seem a bit on edge.
I'm fine, it's just things are a bit complicated right now.
Do you speak to Tamsin much?
We speak, but it's not really talking, you know, like proper. But we're good, mostly. This distance is always a tricky one to balance.
How about Amy? How's she?
Well, that's something I'm not so sure on. It's been...
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Right. Let's hide over there and we'll see who's coming.
I don't want a repeat of last time. Right?
Right.
This is a smooth operation. Oh. You done this before, Joe?
I've done a bit of poaching in my time, yeah.
We like to think of it as more redistributing, like Robin Hood.
Redistributing.
Yeah,
Right.
we like to give the pub patrons a surprise treat, because they couldn't otherwise afford to have...
Oh, quit your jabbering and turn that torch off. Good. Right, Joe, I want you to put in with a snare, okay? Tommy, you get up here on this rock and keep a lookout, okay? I'm going further upstream with this little baby.
Jesus, Jez, we're not the Bridport gang.
Who are the Bridport?
A gang in the 80s. They saw thousands of fish from across England and Wales.
I just wanted to see if I could even up the odds a little bit.
Isn't that a bit...
extreme? Do you know how much 10 salmon are worth?
Oh, calm down, Jez.
£2,000!
I just didn't know we'd use bleach. That's all. We could go to prison for this.
All right, we won't use it. Okay? Right. Joe, you put in with that snare, get back up there and keep a good lookout. You never know where the EA are. And I'll just keep an eye on Joe here. Hey!
Hey!
Oh,
Stop!
No!
Come back!
Hey, run!
Go back! They got you!
Ah!
Gosh, get off me!
Joe?
Guy?
Do you two know each other? I think I'll leave you two to it. Guy, I'll see you in the car.
Guy, I am so...
What are you doing, Joe? I thought you stopped all this years ago. Bleach? Really?
Well, we didn't use it.
I should hope not. Think of the damage you could have caused.
I really am sorry, Guy. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just needed the extra money and it just seemed so easy. £2 grand for 10 salmon. It was a no-brainer. I was desperate. We're struggling to make ends meet at the moment and I just needed...
Then why didn't you come to me? We've known each other since you were a kid, Joe. We've been through it all.
I was too embarrassed, all right?
Is it more embarrassing than being wrestled to the ground and being caught with a metric ton of bleach? Come on, you silly sod. Let's go back to where we're both meant to be.
The pub?
No, our families. Or what's left of mine.
I really am sorry, Guy. I should have come to you. You know how much I respect the work you do, and I'll speak to Sam and Oriel about the dam building. They should know better than that.
It's all right, mate. Just more talking and less poaching from now on, right?
Deal.
This time, as deep as the deepest sleep, which no dream of wrongdoing can ever reach.
What are you on about, Oriel?
Hey guys, still building dams, I see.
Oh, hi, Hilda. Hello, Amy.
You have a problem with our dam?
Only that it interferes with the lives of the salmon.
You sound just like Guy. And remember the sea trout and the brown trout.
Well, she is his daughter.
Why should we care about these salmon?
You should, that's why.
Should? What sort of reason's that? Exactly. Should is no reason at all.
How about I tell you a story?
Oh no. The last time someone told us a story, it was a load of nonsense about the revenge of the earth.
Oh, the Earth Gnomes. Oh no, this is a different story. More positive, entirely.
How do you know about the Earth Gnomes, Hilda?
I just do. Are you all sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Long ago, when magic was common on the earth, there was a salmon swimming in a pool. One day, some hazelnuts fell from the tree above into the pool. Plonk, plonk, plonk. The salmon ate these hazelnuts, and through them gained the power of wisdom. He could spout prophetic words to passers-by. There was a legend. If you could catch this salmon and eat it, you too would gain the power of wisdom. A man named Finnegas set out to catch the salmon, and after many long hours of trying, finally caught it and gave it to his young friend Theon to prepare. Now by this time, the salmon's spirit had already left its body and gone to help fight the powers of darkness alongside King Arthur. Whilst Theon was preparing the salmon, he burnt his thumb, so put it in his mouth to soothe the pain. When Theon brought the cooked salmon back to Finnegas, Finnegas noticed a strange glow about him and asked him if he had eaten the salmon and put another in its place. Theon explained what had happened, how he had put his burnt thumb, the juices of the cooked salmon, into his mouth. Finnegas realised what had happened and magnanimously allowed him to eat the rest of the salmon. From then on, Theon had the power of wisdom. He could simply bite on his thumb to call upon it. And that is why you should like the salmon.
That's a weird story.
I thought it was beautiful.
I wonder if I become any wiser if I bite my thumb.
It's metaphorical.
Oh, here we go. First it should, and now it's metaphorical.
Why don't you pipe down for once, Sam? You might learn something.
Do you know what a metaphor is then?
Yes, when one idea is used to stand for another in order to suggest a likeness.
All right, clever clogs. I likenessed the bit about helping King Arthur's mission against the powers of darkness.
Georgie doesn't like you arguing so much. Well, thank you, Hilda, for telling us that story.
So, are you going to go on building this dam?
Maybe not.
We definitely want people to eat more wisdom.
Metaphorically.
Hilda! Wait for me!
Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Still testing. Can't quite see who's coming through the finish line there. But I believe coming in first in the 5-mile race is number 17, Hilda Shawcross.
Just brilliant, Hilda!
And, coming in second, we have number 22, Kyle Fraser. And in the long distance, I think we have number 4, Rachel Mallory.
What are we waiting for? I'm not sure. But I could definitely use for some more of that fudge. Some kind of boring dance thing.
It's Amy's performance. Hilda told us. Remember Sam?
I like that story.
About Tamara.
About the salmon, the one who was wise. It was beautiful. It didn't make much sense. It's metaphorical, idiot.
Come on, you lot. Let's find somewhere good to sit and watch.
Dad, Mum still isn't here. We're going to have to start soon. People are getting impatient.
I'm sure she'll be here. She texted to say she'd caught her train. I expect there's been some traffic on the way from Newton Abbot.
Maybe you should have gone to pick her up.
She wanted one of us to be here with you. She insisted on taking a taxi.
Come on, Hilda, I'm sure she'll be here.
It would be so typical if she missed my performance yet again.
How about you go and warm up instead of worrying?
Hilda's right, my love. Oh, good.
Holly, I'm just going to go and talk to Tommy and Jez. Joe. Tommy. Jez. Didn't expect to see you here.
Food's good. So, what brings you here, Joe?
Well,
So
I
nice.
was wondering about you guys. I mean, poaching doesn't exactly fit comfortably with a village festival, does it?
No, but it's a nice little social gathering you've got here. Too good for the likes of me nowadays, but I pretend. I wondered if you'd like to join Joe and I down the pub. Tommy and I. No,
I don't. No. Thanks.
What's his trouble? What did we do wrong?
Now freshets foam with golden froth. Now slopes are silken as a moth.
As water sleeks their grasses down, in sheets of pall now boulders drown.
That once stood out proud against the flow, now long beached logs get up and go.
Water rising,
the cleaves drumming,
advertising,
a change coming.
I swirl through fissures and I twist down cataracts. I plunge over waterfalls as white as the mist. I lie in pools as dark as eye pupils. I ripple and bubble with the dive of an otter. I roar at the floods, yellowish churning, and rise high enough for the salmon to run.
I'm lost! Oh, am I too late?
Almost, but not quite.
The taxi driver took the wrong turning and we ended up in a cul-de-sac in the clay pit.
There's a new road layout.
Surely he should have known that.
Oh, Mum, I can't believe you're here.
But you are about to perform, so you must concentrate on that just for the moment.
And now, doing her salmon dance, Amy Waterman.